There are people in this world who don't hate others in a violent or dangerous way, but who quietly carry a deep dislike for being around people, crowds, noise, or unnecessary social interaction. They avoid gatherings, decline invitations, stay home when others go out, and prefer the company of animals, nature, or just a few trustworthy souls. Society labels them strange, antisocial, cold, or distant, but psychology paints a far more human picture. Their avoidance isn't rooted in cruelty. It's rooted in experience, emotion, and a desire to protect their inner world. These individuals don't wake up one day suddenly hating people. It's a slow shift shaped by betrayal, disappointment, overstimulation, or emotional exhaustion. And when you look closely, you'll find that the people who pull away the most often feel the world the deepest. Let's begin with the first type, the betrayed soul. These are the individuals who once gave their trust freely, who believed in the goodness of others, who opened their heart without hesitation and paid the price for it. Maybe it was a friend who used them, a partner who broke them, or a family member who failed them in a moment they needed help the most. Betrayal doesn't just hurt, it rewires the brain. A wound that isn't healed becomes a belief, and that belief becomes a shield. People can't be trusted. People leave. People hurt you when you least expect it. Over time, these thoughts solidify into emotional armor. The betrayed soul stops offering their heart because they've learned, painfully, that not everyone deserves it. They are not bitter by nature. They became bitter through experience. Their love toward animals often grows stronger because animals don't betray, don't judge, don't lie, and don't walk away when things get difficult. For them, the loyalty of a pet feels safer, more real, and more dependable than the unpredictable world of human emotions. And so they detach, not because they hate everyone, but because they've been shown too many reasons not to trust. Then there is the peace seeker, the person who doesn't hate people at all, but hates the emotional chaos that people bring. These are the quiet souls who crave stillness, simplicity, and space to breathe. They feel drained in crowded places, overwhelmed by gossip, irritated by small talk, and exhausted by the constant noise of social life. They don't reject others because they think they're superior. They withdraw because peace means survival for them. But the world misunderstands peace seekers. People ask, why don't you join the group? Why don't you socialize more? Why are you always alone? Society pressures them to be outgoing, loud, and constantly available. And the more they are judged for simply being themselves, the more they retreat. Slowly, they begin associating people with discomfort, misunderstanding, and emotional disturbance. They don't want drama. They don't want emotional mess. They don't want to carry everyone's problems. They simply want a life that feels calm, consistent, and stable. Yet society's rejection of their quietness begins to harden into resentment, not because they hate people, but because people refuse to accept that peace looks different for everyone. Finally, we reach the third type, the resentful cynic. Unlike the others, this person's dislike for humanity runs deeper. They are the ones shaped by repeated humiliation, rejection, failure, or betrayal that added up over years. Instead of healing, the wounds turned into frustration. Instead of processing, the mind created walls. They see the world as unfair, people as selfish, society as cruel. Their anger is not random, it is layered. They notice flaws in others instantly, exaggerate negative traits, expect disappointment before it happens, and assume the worst to protect themselves. They don't want connection anymore. They want distance. Their hatred isn't active, it's defensive, a belief formed through years of emotional chaos they never learned to cope with. While they may seem harsh, beneath the cynicism is usually someone who once cared too much and was hurt too often. What you see as anger is actually unprocessed pain. These three types, the betrayed soul, the peace seeker, and the resentful cynic, are often misunderstood as people who hate people. But the truth is more honest and more human. None of them started that way. Their distance is not born from cruelty, but from self-preservation. Their solitude isn't emptiness, it's protection. Their hesitation isn't arrogance, it's experience. They didn't choose distance because they dislike humanity. They chose it because it was the safest option their mind could create. And if you've ever felt this way, you might recognize a piece of yourself in one or even all three of these psychological stories. Maybe you've been hurt too deeply. Maybe you crave peace in a world that refuses to slow down. Or maybe you've seen so much negativity that trusting people feels impossible. Whatever the reason, remember this. The desire to be alone is not a flaw. It's a sign that your mind is seeking safety, clarity, and emotional balance in a world that often lacks all three. If this helped you understand yourself or others on a deeper psychological level, make sure you subscribe to the Knownsense. Here we break down the hidden truths of human behavior every single day. Your mind deserves clarity, and here we make sense of it.